Hello and welcome to the reference.
Restart. I was typing.
Hello and welcome to the Reference Point Podcast. I'm your host Paulo, and today I'm joined by my two electric co-hosts, Uncle Lou and Anthony.
What's up, guys?
And we just saw Thunderbolts Asterix.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I really enjoyed this movie. It was different. It really caught me off guard in that, Thunderbolts, you're looking at the poster, you're looking at the first announcement, and what do you see? Oh, a Black Widow sequel, but without Black Widow. That's kind of weird. How good could that be? Turns out it could be very good, actually. Because this movie was very much driven to me by the strong character work with the whole team and every cast member. Maybe some aren't as strong as others, but overall I found the whole dynamic and everything really worked for this movie.
I really enjoyed their taking B and C characters and making them really interesting and enjoyable to watch and funny. This movie is so funny. I was laughing in so many great moments, and the writing is so well put. It's just punch. And a great commentary towards mental health. Everyone dealing with different problems and how to deal with it. I think it was a great story being told. I definitely go see.
I thought the movie went darker than I thought it would at points, in that it really shows you some of how tragic these characters are. You kind of look at the team overall, and I remember this was a big problem when the movie was announced. Why did we just want a team of regular super soldiers and whatnot? And even when it was announced, I was kind of just this is whatever. It's okay, another Marvel movie. We're doing whatever. But now I watch it, and they really got me to care for these people. Even characters I wasn't such a big fan of in other Marvel movies, I really enjoyed. The Red Guardian. I watched the first Black Widow movie, and I thought Yelena was always great in that movie. But Red Guardian, I remember watching it, okay, he's a big goof, and that's it. In this one, he was still a goof and funny, but I thought they actually brought some depth and made him a great character. Even Yelena, she was, for me, the highlight of the movie. She's basically the main character. And what they give her is really strong and really good, and maybe a little darker than I expected. Not where I thought they would take this character, and I really kind of enjoyed that about it.
Yeah, it really does dive deep into how dark, for lack of a better word, depression and other mental health issues can be if left unchecked. And it's in a way kind of refreshing because it actually does play a huge effect on the third act of the film, and it really does help differentiate it from other Marvel movies. As for myself, I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. There are a lot of parts I enjoyed, a lot of parts I did not. We're going to have to hear about it in our spoiler review. But overall, I would say this feels like a step in the right direction for newer and better Marvel movies under a new regime versus the old regime movies. I felt like it was a bit too quippy. I know there's the meme of the MCU does all these jokes.
Well, that just happened.
Yeah, stuff like that. It kind of bordered on that at times, in my personal opinion, but it wasn't enough to the point where I was getting frustrated.
But I never felt at the wrong time they were doing quips. It's a serious moment, and then he's just going oops, he's right behind me, isn't he?
I find that they didn't let moments simmer enough before they cut in with a quip.
I don't know if I really agree with that, but I get where you're coming from.
I found it was a good combination between dialogue, but then skipping straight to the action. They didn't, like you say, they didn't linger too long or simmer too long on certain scenes or certain dialogue. It would just jump right next to the next plot.
It was very, I would say in a sense, kind of comic booky and fantastical, where they take the second and third act. Yeah. Because when you look at all the past Marvel movies, they have to get to the villain, they beat up the villain either dies or gets arrested. That's not really what happens here. They do something really different, which honestly caught me off guard right off the bat.
I gotta say, the structure of the movie to me felt a little I don't want to say weird, but it's a little strange in that the second act feels a little bit shorter than the first and third act. It feels almost like there isn't much of a second act, but it's still that kind of sounds like a bad thing, but it really did work for the movie, I found.
I never felt like it dragged on the movie. It was from start to finish. It was very much chop. There weren't in past movies where you're kind of sitting there okay, let's have the scene end.
It was good. For me, I really found the script worked for this movie. The action was really well shot. The acting, great. There wasn't one bad performance. Granted, I feel like the Ghost, they gave her like nothing to do. They could have gave her a little bit more. Like, I feel like out of all the characters, they're all pretty well developed. Hers was the only one that I watched, and I'm like, they're not really giving her much. And even by the end of the movie, I'm like, they didn't give her anything.
It felt like they didn't know what to do with her powers other than to help solve specific issues that only she could have actually.
Yeah, she kind of felt like a seat filler on the team. Like, they kind of just needed an extra member on the team, so they put the Ghost because we kind of forgot about her.
Which is ironic because we had a character that was effectively a seat filler.
There's a couple characters I'd say maybe were underdeveloped. Like, even, Taskmaster could have been given a bit more. Ghost a bit more.
John Walker, I felt, was a bit of a step down from Falcon and Winter Soldier. I felt like he was treated too much as a himbo. Too much of a joke character. Like, yeah, he was on point when it came to the military stuff, but after that, it was kind of like they made him like the biggest dumbass on the planet.
I felt like they made him like a jock type character, kind of like, considering he comes from football. Like, I get where they're going for it.
I don't know. I just did it. I felt like it was off.
No, I kind of understood him. Like, he's kind of a douche to people, but I kind of get where he's coming from, knowing what you find out in the movie.
If you're invested enough in the Marvel movies, obviously you're going to end up seeing it. But if you're not anymore, I would say give it a chance just to see if this is the direction you kind of want for the Marvel movies to go. Because at the end of the day, the Marvel movies were such a phenomenon. The whole world was captivated by Infinity War and Endgame. And a lot of people did drop off afterwards. I would say even for myself too, I kind of dropped off a little in interest. But this kind of got my attention back more than anything else. I feel myself a little bit more excited to actually go see Fantastic Four at its premiere.
Yeah.
Same thing for the next Avengers, Doomsday, and all that.
I thought this was like honestly one of the better Marvel movies we've gotten in years. Like, I think it's the best one since Guardians 3. I loved the Guardians 3. That one was great. It's like, after Cap 4, it just felt a lot more refreshing. Brave New World was very, I don't want to say it felt flat for me, but felt very like a nothing movie. Like, I kind of just watched it and it kind of just ended. I didn't really care anymore. This one, like, I feel like I'm still thinking about it and I care.
I knew it was over for Cap 4 when you said it was painfully mediocre.
Yeah,
I knew it was over. I was like, oh, damn.
But that's it. And honestly, I gotta say, like, the post-credit scenes, without spoiling, has got me the most excited for the future than any of the past post-credit scenes from the past, like, 5-6 movies. Like, this post-credits was awesome.
I have an issue with it. But, like, it's such a non-issue issue. It's still an issue, though.
But you'll hear all about it in the spoilers.
I just really like the setup of what they've done in this movie. I think it was one of the first that was a serious movie, but not to be taken so serious, especially with the comedic punches that they put in, or the amount of comedic punches they put into this movie. But I am excited to see what is to come after this, because they really did a lot of setup that is going to be beautiful for all the other teams and movies that they have planned. And let us know what you have planned. Are you planning on going to see this in this opening weekend? Are you going to wait till it gets to Disney Plus? Let us know in the comments below.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is a great place to wrap up. If you like what you saw here, leave a like, subscribe to OAR TV, follow us on social media at RefPoint Podcast, on TikTok at the RefPoint Podcast, and
guys, don't forget to support your local comic book stores.